Welcome back to the show, everybody. This is the Upper Tier Podcast. It's Tuesday. It's Pro Wrestling Weekly. It's 3 days on from the Rumble and 1 day on from Raw. We are going to be checking out both. We are going to be talking about tag teams as well. Keith wanted to bring up the word of tag teams. We're going to be talking about a little bit of beef between Logan Paul and Green Shirt Guy. We are going to be looking at what else have we got for you people? Let's see. We're going to be talking about Batista's Mount Rushmore. Talking about Black Hoodie Guy. Who is Black Hoodie Guy? And of course, Tommaso Ciampa picking up the TNT title as well. We will touch on that. We're going to be talking about how felt the winners and the losers were from the Royal Rumble. And it looks like I have a little surprise at the end as well. There could be a reboot coming. There is talk of it. We will delve into that as well, of course. Right, where do we begin? Royal Rumble. Bren, take us away. Royal Rumble.
Hello, everybody. Brian here from the Upper Tier. I'm only messing. Royal Rumble, how was it? Look, the watch along. So some of the Royal Rumble hurt me a little bit. I just all seeing live on the watch along. At the same time, I don't think objectively it was a bad Royal Rumble. I don't think it was. I think it was a good Royal Rumble. I think the women of the women's Royal Rumble stole the show for me. That's where I am on that. I thought the women absolutely smashed it. Um, the AJ Styles thing kind of there's something weird about that AJ Styles match versus Gunther. There's something unsettling about it. I didn't like how they ended it. If he is walking away, I thought Paul, my mate Levesque, could have did him a bit more of a favor. And look, the men's Royal Rumble, I was disappointed at the time, but like that, I rewatched it. Look, overall, it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. I was just pissed off with a few things that got to me a little bit. And look, we'll address them, and I've addressed them in some of the shorts on the channel as well. I thought the start of the men's Royal Rumble was outstanding, creatively brilliant. The fact that we're going to be talking about that later on, I do think the reveal probably should have been a little bit sooner, but actually, based on what happened on Raw, I'm all right that they've dragged it out a bit because Raw was electric when it opened. I love what's happening there. But you asked me about the Royal Rumble as a whole, like that, we've a lot to get through. I thought the Royal Rumble was decent, but I will say this. I put a short out the other day, Noel, as you've seen. I think my expectations personally, are way too high. They're through the roof constantly. One of the things that I've heard online is, but there was no surprises, but there was no this, there's no that. And there's nothing wrong with that criticism. Objectively, it was a good Royal Rumble. I just expected more. I really wanted to see Chris Jericho. Would have loved to see Bianca. And I'm okay if Bianca's still injured. I hope she's okay, and I hope there's a way back for her and so on. So yeah, look, man. Overall, yeah, it was good. It was solid, but like obviously on the night, it wasn't a nice night at the office for Bren on a couple of the occasions.
Yeah, I think because we do the watch along as well, it can be quite reactionary at the time, because you're like a spoiled child and you don't necessarily get what you want. Or maybe you get what you want, but bits of it don't kind of sit well properly with you. Take on Emma first. Royal Rumble, what's thoughts? Because obviously you two weren't on, you and Sean weren't on the watch along, so obviously we were on the watch along. So get your thoughts first, maybe.
Yeah, so obviously I wasn't on the watch along. I was watching with my whole family, which was really good. Um, Jace, thanks. We all look great. I'll stop. Got a new bulb. What can I say? Well, watching it.
It's good.
So the Sami Zayn match. I knew they weren't going to give that title off Drew. I knew it. Of course, I was rooting for Sami, but whatever. It's okay. His time will come. Trust me, his time will come. I'm saying it now. Gunther and AJ Styles, I feel like it because it was so unsure if I think we all knew he was definitely losing. It just felt like there was no momentum to it. And at the end I was like, "Oh wow, he's gone from the WWE now. That's it." Like what? I was kind of like I was sitting there and I was like, "Oh, it hits you, because the match itself like I don't know, but the Women's Royal Rumble icing on the cake. That was my favorite match of the night, probably. And you know what? People had high expectations, and we have Brie Bella back. Woo! I'm so happy. Bella Twins are back. Oh, it feels like the good old days. It's nostalgic. And you know what? I'm not a huge Liv Morgan fan, but at the same time, I'm not mad she won because I see it. I see why they're doing that, and I'm liking it. I am liking it. So I don't want to hear that I hate Liv Morgan. I don't. I think she's very talented. Her moment in the ring, lovely. What are you all doing?
Nothing. I'm listening to you.
Oh, sorry.
I'm enjoying the whole Liv Morgan talk. Go ahead.
Listen, I think she's so talented. Her moment in the ring, it would bring a tear to a glass eye, to tell the truth. It would. The men's Royal Rumble, the start was great. Obafemi, what a superstar. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. The hooded figure, I think it's Logan Paul. I don't know. I'm not too sure, to be honest. The winner, not happy with. Listen, the thing with CM Punk on Raw, great. Don't get me wrong. I'm just not happy with it. But yeah, that's all.
Okay. Sean?
Do you know what? Can I just say it's absolutely poetic and magical that in the span of over 48 hours, not only have you had Roman Reigns return, but you've had Shawn O return. It's phenomenal. It really is. So poetic. Obviously, I was in work, so I missed most of the Rumble. I just caught the end of the men's, but I rewatched it over the last day or two. And I actually thought it was brilliant. And I know I initially said in the chat that I didn't think it was good. I wasn't too happy with the winners. But it wasn't overly that bad. I thought, Drew and Sammy was a solid enough match. Obviously, I didn't see Sammy winning the match. Do I see him eventually getting a world title someday? No. If he does, I won't be mad at it. Obviously, it's one of those things. We'll see how it goes. The men's Rumble match I thought was brilliant, but I'm gonna have to be honest. I think it was an absolute waste of 3 spots having La Parka from AAA, who got absolutely zero reaction, who I've watched in AAA and I think is phenomenal, but I just thought it made no sense. And then having 2 El Grande Americanos. Obviously, great to see Chad Gable back, but 2 Grande Americanos. There was 3 spots I thought was kind of wasted that could have been given to someone better. I don't know, maybe my boy Johnny Gargano could have had a spot. But overall, an absolute phenomenal match. I thought the women's match absolutely stole the show. Liv Morgan winning, as I said, I didn't want one bit, but now that it's settled in, kind of looking back, I'm not overly mad about it, and I see where WWE were going with it. So look, it is what it is, and it's one of those things you have to kind of enjoy the ride. So we shall do that. And as Emma said, Brie Bella is back, and the Bella twins are reunited. So it's freaking amazing. I'm happier than I've ever been. So obviously they were on Raw last night, but we'll get into that in a bit. So overall, solid 7 out of 10 for the Rumble.
Not too bad. Dave?
Yeah, really enjoyed it. Obviously, the watch along, when you have your reactions in the moment, you take 24 hours, you sit on it, you go back and you think about it, and you're like, okay, wasn't as bad as we thought. Because when you're reacting in the moment, it can be a million different things at once because it's such a fast-paced thing. I thought the Women's Rumble was booked excellently, and I think I said this on the watch along. This Rumble is a chance for some of these talents to showcase they have a lot more to give than what they're given at the moment. And Kiana James and Sol Ruka were 2 of the biggest takers of those moments. Lash Legend as well. All 3 of them really took their moment and ran with it. And I want to see Kiana James in the ring now. That's it. I want to see her in the ring. I want to see her featured more on TV, as a competitor rather than a manager. The winners, Roman Reigns. I said this beforehand. I don't want Roman Reigns to win. Raw changed my mind. I changed my mind because, okay, he's not going after Drew's title. He's going after Punk's title. Okay, Roman and Punk, that's not a bad show. With the women's winner, I was fine with Liv Morgan anyway. Make a difference. I watched the post show as well, and she came out and just absolutely stole the post show as well, which was really, really fun. And look, Drew McIntyre versus Sammy, we were all kind of worried Sammy was getting the title here, but
Not everybody.
I think we're getting ready for Drew v Jacob v Cody for Mania, or at least Drew v Cody or Drew v Jacob at some point. I don't know how that title's going to go. I'm still trying to figure out where they're going to go with that. But again, the fact that I don't know where they're going with it is a good thing. And AJ Styles, it was horrible to see him go out the way he went out. But again, that was on his own terms. He wanted to go out then, I would imagine. There was no other way about it. But his WWE career is over. I'm still absolutely certain he'll be in TNA and then New Japan, over the course of the year. So we'll see how it happens. Overall, for me, 7.5 out of 10. Solid Rumble. But again, the watch along makes it all that more fun.
Dave, quick one, right? Sorry, no, it'll be 2 seconds. It's not something to answer now, but it's something to answer when we're talking about Raw.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll talk about the last segment on Raw, obviously, the last promo between the two. But I wanted to hear from yourself, and we'll address it when we're on Raw. What did you think of how they kind of like pushed Drew McIntyre to the side as almost as if he was an afterthought? It's just something I know I'll forget it when we're talking about Raw, but have a think about it, because I'd love to hear your opinion on it, because he was almost an afterthought. Sorry, Noel, we're away.
Afterthought on Raw?
Well, the way they spoke about the way Punk and the way Punk and Reigns went back and forward about, well, you could take the easy route. Yeah, I could. I spent a year beating that guy. Yeah, I smashed his face in a Hell in a Cell, and it kind of almost made
no, it made sense. Made perfect sense. I'll answer very quickly for you.
Yeah,
or we'll keep it to Raw. We'll keep it to Raw.
Yeah,
carry on.
Keith?
I've been seeing a lot of people online talking about the Royal Rumble over the last couple of days, and they're saying like it was a terrible Rumble and all this, and it's one of the worst ever. I really don't think so. I think it's in the middle. Like, it wasn't terrible, wasn't great, but I thought it was a decent Royal Rumble for what it is. Like, I agree with a lot of everyone saying the women's Royal Rumble was fantastic. It just elevated a lot of the women in it, and it made them like future stars as well, I thought. And I'm not really upset that Liv Morgan, because I'm a huge Liv Morgan fan. I think she's great. I think she's phenomenal. I did predict as well, and Brent can back me up on this, that I knew that they were going to do a Judgment Day tease for this. And they did, with Liv Morgan eliminating Raquel. And I knew that was going to happen at this Royal Rumble. But the men's Rumble, the only gripe I had about that was a stupid spot when Jey Uso was like yeeting and then eliminated Feck and Brock Lesnar. Like, come on.
I wanted to leave that to you, Keith. I knew you'd say that. And I agree with you. Eliminating someone like Brock Lesnar while Jay's entrance is going on is absolutely criminal. But carry on.
Like, it's only criminal if you're a Brock Lesnar fan.
Brock Lesnar doesn't get eliminated that often.
Which I didn't think too many on this panel were, but that's okay. The Brock Lesnar sympathy's all good. Go ahead.
I looked at the
it's all good. Go ahead. It's all good.
Whoever booked that needs to be fired. Honestly, it was horrific booking.
I'll go that far.
I would.
I heard it was Stephanie Vicar's idea. Go on anyway.
Timing is everything in the wrestling business, isn't it?
But it was just horrific. Like, that was just a terrible booking, honestly. Like, because it used to elevate fucking guys like Drew McIntyre when he eliminated Brock Lesnar a few years ago.
Okay, you need to be careful on this, okay? Because obviously this wasn't booked the way it played out. No one booked this Jey Uso to distract Brock Lesnar's elimination, like. So it wasn't booked this way. This is just, and I'll talk about it in a minute. But go ahead, go on anyway.
Look, overall, the other matches were solid. It's a shame the way AJ Styles went out. I would have liked to see him being ending his career at WrestleMania, but I get what he's doing. He's probably just doing it because of the 10-year anniversary, and he's probably leaving it there. And then he wants to go TNA and then Japan and all that. But overall, like, it was an okay Rumble. It wasn't terrible or anything, to be honest. I've seen worse.
Yeah. I kind of obviously we really enjoy it on the watch along because we have a lot of fun doing them as well. So like it's, they could serve out any old crap and we'll still have a good time. But I think if you look at the two, and I spoke about it even on the watch along when I was talking about like, how the thing is and how you start and how you end, but everything in the middle kind of gets lost because everyone gets caught up in the start and the end and the result and who wins it. And if you don't get the winner that you want, you kind of shit on it and you forget about all the other good stuff that happens in it and stuff like that and all. I think really the difference between the two Royal Rumbles is the women's one is planned and laid out in a certain way, and timing was perfect on it. It didn't go astray. It didn't get lost. All the women hit their spots. I think from 1 to 30, all came out of the Royal Rumble look strong. They all played a huge part. Obviously, there was some standout people, and it was planned that way. As Triple H said, they were building for these stars of the future. So that was the plan. The plan delivered very much so in the Women's Royal Rumble. If you look at the women there, the one that we came out, when we came out of it, obviously Liv winning it, which was absolutely sensational, I think. But outside of that, you have Sol Ruka, Kiana James, to name but a few. Brie came back. They had their moment, all that kind of stuff. There was lots of moments in the Women's Royal Rumble, but on top of those moments as well is you had a lot of nice wrestling, and you had women wrestling against each other in the Royal Rumble where you could clearly see the wrestling that they were portraying and stuff like that. And it also made sense as well when you looked at who went after who and who matched up against who. It all kind of made sense. So with the Women's Royal Rumble, everything just went perfectly timed. It was nicely put together. Everyone knew what they had to do and where they were going. It didn't get lost. And it came really well. And some of the spots were just absolutely sensational, especially at the end when you can have such a problem if you're out on the apron. It can go wrong. There's a lot of jeopardy there, and they pulled it off fantastic. I thought Sol Ruka was absolutely amazing. Kiana James was absolutely amazing. But I think 1 to 30, I think the girls just knocked it out of the park and did a fabulous job, as they generally do. Because I think looking in at it, I think sometimes you look at the women's side of wrestling and you think, I think they're just better. They're just easier coached and easier brought along, and they pick up on it easier what you're trying to get across when the agents out back are giving them a message and saying, this is the story we want to tell at this point and this point and this point, and everyone just picks up on it and delivers it. If you look at the men's Royal Rumble, and I talk about real estate in the ring, when you put a lot of big guys in that ring, there's not much room to portray your skill set. So a lot of it is just lads pounding on each other in the corners, knocking the shite out of each other. All that kind of stuff goes on. It's not really a portrayal. And I was talking to Keith about this today in the shop. If you think about that kind of moment where Jacob Fatu sent Javon Evans into orbit and then caught him for that lovely backdrop thing. And I thought that was really, really cool and stuff like that. But a lot of it you don't kind of remember because it's really just big lads beating the shit out of each other, really, And you do get some moments in there. You've Obafemi facing off against Brock Lesnar. I understand. I think with the men's Royal Rumble, I think it went astray, and I think everyone kind of got lost. As Brent said, I think the opening was amazing because no one expected that. Everyone expected Braun Breaker at a minimum to be last four. So that was kind of a swerve, and we were thinking, right, here we go. Something big is going to happen here. And Brent talks about managing expectations. My problem on expectations is it's not us who manage the expectations because our expectations are built up from the company. Break the walls down, blah, 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 blah. So we have an expectation that this is what's going to happen. They lead us on the journey. So the expectations are really managed by WWE, not by us. We're supposed to get excited. We're supposed to hope that things happen. We're supposed to hope John jumps the barrier and saves AJ Styles. We're supposed to think these things. That's what we're supposed to do, as mad as we are. You know what I mean? Because most wrestling fans,
get your dream. You will get your dream, Niall.
There is a certain amount of madness in it, But it's important to kind of, to understand, as we go into Raw and stuff like that, you could see Punk versus Roman Reigns and how big and what a magnitude that would be. And I'm sure Seth Rollins somewhere is going to come along and interject into this, and we're going to get a rerun of last year's Mania. There's no doubt about it, I think. We will talk about Raw in a minute, though. But I think overall the Royal Rumble, AJ Styles not leaving the gloves in the ring would suggest he's still going to wrestle on a bit. There was news yesterday that Triple H has actually offered him a position in the company in the back office doing stuff. I don't know whether or not, because he talks a lot about going home and being with family and all that kind of stuff. So I think with the office work, you're still always on the road. You're always there as an agent and stuff. So, but maybe he might not find it too easy to step away. I think he will wrestle out a few more matches. I think we certainly will get a TNA in the New Japan. Hence, he kept the gloves. I would have also thought if it was a ending match as well, I would have thought that probably the locker room would have poured out and given him a send-off. But maybe they might do that at a certain date. Who knows? With Drew McIntyre versus Sami Zayn, I just thought it was just a beatdown, and I thought it was really good. Sammy got a little bit in, and he created a little bit of jeopardy in our minds, especially myself and Dave at stages. We couldn't even look at the screen when Helluva kicks were being landed and stuff and all. And he did come really close a couple of times, and we did have to go, oh shit, we looked away. But I think there was no doubt this was going to be Drew McIntyre's time. We thought Sammy might rock up in the Rumble, but he didn't. I think overall, I just think the problem is if it's the men's Royal, maybe they should learn and maybe they should finish the show with the women's Royal Rumble going forward, because maybe that's where the bar is set. Because we did say, even on the watch along for anyone who was watching, that after the women's Royal Rumble, we said, how are any of the matches or the men's stuff going to follow this now? Because it was so good. And that was really the problem, really, that they put the main event on first, I think, in my mind. And I think then that made it very, very difficult. I think also as well, and I will talk about it during Raw as well, but I have varying different views about Obafemi that you guys have, I'm sure. But we will talk about it when we get into Raw. So maybe it's time to go to Raw. Yeah.
Quick one. Did you see Triple H talking after the Royal Rumble?
Yep.
Right. So is it me, or does it look like he kind of crumbled under the pressure of the different chants and the fans? You could see that it was visibly getting to him. Can you see him feeling the pressure, or am I just mad? Am I seeing what I want to see almost? Did you notice it? Is it something that everybody else picked up on, or am I just seeing what I want to see?
I think it's an extremely pressurizing job at the best of times, even when it's going well. I think the difficulty is, I think they're trying to get to a certain point. I think what happens is, and I said it on a few podcasts, I think we've gone through a circle and a cycle of really good professional wrestling. And I think what happens is we're out of that cycle, and the cycle's now changing post John Cena, post Styles, maybe post Brock Lesnar. These guys are going to move away, and Reigns may be the same eventually as well. We know Punk. I mean, Keith's alluded to this a number of times, how this roster is aging out. So we're having to try and find now who is going to be not necessarily your new John Cena, but who's going to be your new guy. And Cody Rhodes may not be that answer. Who knows? Who's going to be your new Styles? Who's going to be the guy? Who's going to pick up that mantle and run with it? Have we got the people and the ability to pick up that mantle and run with it? Have we to pick up a different mantle? Is it going to be a different product? And I think at the moment, I think they're struggling with that a little bit, because those people that are leaving or moving or not around as much are the fabric of what we've watched for the last 15 to 20 years. So it's different. I kind of compare it to when Undertaker lost the streak, and that night Undertaker fans just died. A part of them died. Like that as well with John Cena now, and we know literally 95% of the audience, if not more, are John Cena fans. So now it's what do you cling on to? So some are a little bit lost. Some are looking still for that nostalgia. We didn't get as much as we'd want in the Rumble. I think they could have broke up the men's Rumble with a little bit more nostalgia. I like Sean's point on the guys they brought in, like La Parker and stuff like that. I don't really know why it happened. I don't understand it. I'm not too upset with El Grande Americano. Maybe they didn't need two of them. But I think overall, I think sometimes you need that Brie Bella injection into the middle of it just to freshen it. Because a lot of people were saying that in the Women's Royal Rumble started out really strong. The middle went quite flat and the end was really good. I have to say, I watched it live on a watch along, and at no point did I feel flat at any point in any second watching the Women's Royal Rumble. I was out of my seat here if people watched it. I was so psyched for everyone that was involved and stuff like that. And I thought they got it spot on from 1 to 30. I don't think there's a female wrestler came out of that Royal Rumble devalued in any way. I think everyone was uplifted by it on the roster. So I don't know, but some people obviously see things different. Same at the men's Royal Rumble and stuff like that. What was it a great one? No, I think it just got a bit disjointed. It got a bit clunky. It lost its way, and then had to find its way back to whatever the result was. And then when people didn't get what they wanted, it's the kind of fuck you situation, you know, and that's what you get. Whereas they forget about everything that happened in it. But may as well, yeah. I think with Triple H, I think difficult one for him as well. You know what I mean? That the business is going through a transition. We're coming out of a period and into a period, and he's looking down that tunnel of what he needs and stuff like that. And that's why I think he's playing a lot of games with the fan base and stuff like that. He's trying to generate that reaction, because sometimes in the audience, when the shows are going on, he's not getting the reaction at the time that he wants, which means the kind of things they're trying to lay down as plans are not hitting with the fans, or there's a lack of understanding of what they're trying to do because it's quite complex. Maybe that's it. Raw. Thoughts? Emma, Raw.
I think this episode was, I know for a few weeks it's kind of been here and there, it's been a bit low, but this was electric, especially after Royal Rumble. And I think with so many kind of mixed opinions about the Royal Rumble, it's great that we had, like, you know, if people didn't enjoy the Royal Rumble, if they went to watch Raw, it was a great episode, in my opinion. The opening with the Vision and then LA Knight, like, I'm so happy he's back on screen. When he came out of the Rumble, delighted, absolutely delighted. One thing that stood out for me though, and I kind of caught on to it, because I don't want to go through all of Raw, if you get me, because you know what, I want you guys to have a bit of time, guys. You know, I'm not like that. I'm joking. I could sit here and talk for hours, to be honest. But one thing I picked up from was We're friends now, Sean. Be quiet. One thing I picked up was the Liv Morgan and Raquel. And I feel like Raquel is going to jeopardize Liv Morgan's journey to get that title. I'm calling it now. I am calling it. Also, the last segment with Roman and CM Punk. CM Punk is the best on the mic. He was phenomenal. They were hitting each other. They were crossing the line. It was great. It was absolutely great. And it was a great way to end it. They had like a solid opening, a solid ending, and everything in the middle was great. Javon Evans, like, oh, he was just brilliant. Obafemi as well. What a guy. And also the Bella Twins also came out. I was very happy. When Nikki came out to her music and then she pointed and then Bree's music hit, oh my god, I could cry again. But yeah, I'll take it to someone else now.
Cool. Bram?
Yeah, I'd like that. I agree with Emma. I really liked Raw. I thought the start of Raw was so refreshing. I thought it was brilliant. Braun Breaker was phenomenal. That chemistry between Adam Pearce and Paul Heyman, it's special. They could literally do, and I don't want to curse or jinx it, but they're on the brink of some kind of Austin v. McMahon kind of levels, right? They're not there yet, but they can get there. I just want to touch on the Americano Grandialo. First, I'll just learn his name, and then I'll come back to you. El Grande Americano. I love the fact that Chad Gable's back, and I love the fact that they've just slid into it, because I think I'm interested again. I think Chad Gable is going to come out of this looking good, and I think we're looking at a future, 100% a future main eventer. FAFO between Adam Pearce and Paul Heyman. Unbelievable. Come here, Obafemi, Emma, I agree with you. It's great to see him. I'm a massive fan of Obafemi. I'm not normally big on the War Raiders per se, but to see them lay victim to Obafemi like that is sad. I don't think that should have happened. I think they were obviously trying to get two big guys out there. Obafemi, give them a hide and make them look bigger. So I wasn't really mad on that. Return of the Bella Twins, cool, no problem at all. Look, like I said in the chat, I'll judge them by their match quality over the next few weeks, but I am not confident based on the past. You want to talk about watching matches as a professional wrestler to get better, you're not looking at a Bella Twins match. That's so. Look, and like I said, you want to hang on. I love being proved wrong, Emma. I'd love nothing.
You're not going to be proved wrong, Bren.
2 seconds, Keith.
We know. We know, Bren. We know.
I'd love nothing more than Brie Bella to go out. And I said it to you in the chat. Oh yeah, I'm actually rooting for Brie Bella. I'm kind of rooting for her. I think Nikki holds her down a little bit. I thought that promo fell flat at the end. by the way. I thought their reaction was okay at the start, fell flat at the end. Penta, oh, by the way, Bronson Reed, I give him a lot of stick. Bronson Reed was deadly. He was bleeding deadly here. Quality. And wasn't it great to see Dom? Wasn't it deadly to see
Daddy
Dom? Like,
Dom.
he
It was
looks.
all right.
I think
Well,
I just need to take these off, okay? Because we've got a Liv Morgan love in, we've got a Roman Reigns love in, now we've got a Bronson Reed love in. What's going on here?
come here.
I better put them back on. Go ahead.
No, come here.
Keep on going.
But no,
I'm loving this.
like
Keep
that.
on going.
It was very good. But Dom Mysterio, he looked a bit like Ned Flanders with the sunglasses. I said sunglasses because I looked at Sean down there. Sean, you and Bono wear sunglasses indoors. That'll tell you how quality it is for people to wear sunglasses indoors. So Dom Mysterio, great to see him. Looked like a bit like Ned Flanders. The women's match, bloody brilliant. I love how it was slow. It led up. Niall, you are a wind-up merchant.
Yes.
I love how it was slow. It led up. I thought both women were brilliant. And of course, the last segment to me was probably one of the best promos I've seen of two people together in a very long time. And there's some stiff competition. Cody cut a few last year. Kevin Owens did. But this was phenomenal. Overall, I thought this Raw was really good. Shauna, you asked me to play it back. I'll start from the start. So Raw.
No.
No, you talk too much. You talk too much. No.
I talk sense, Sean. I talk sense and I talk facts. And I tell you what, you're probably alluding to the Bellas bit. Listen, like I said in the chat, let's judge them on how they going forward.
Yeah.
And listen, if they have a good match, I'll come onto this chat and I'll say, yes, the Bellas were great. But
Yes,
I have a feeling, yeah, cool. I'd love to get over stealing me fella's catchphrase as well because I can't come up with my own. That's
Look,
cool.
even if
Very
you're
good.
open to giving them a chance, that's great.
I am.
That's progress.
And-
Don't be on about the couples in WWE now when everyone's here saying Daddy Dom and all, and Brie Bella stealing the chant.
They're not a real couple.
Family therapy, folks.
They're
It
not a real
works.
couple. And as for
This panel has taken quite a leap over the last few days.
Yeah.
We have an
Family therapy
acceptance
is
now of the
expensive, but
Bellas,
it
and
works.
we have an acceptance of the Bellas in some part of the panel.
I haven't
We have Liv
accepted
Morgan
them.
and Roman Reigns is okay. Bronson Reed is no longer a passenger. This is all good. I'm loving this. Keep on going.
I challenge Sean and Emma and anyone else to look at that AJ Lee promo against all of the divas at the time. Everything she said wasn't wrong. And look at Nikki Bella's reaction. And that tells you all you need to know about the character of the real Nikki Bella. Anyway, Niall, I'm waffling on. Like Sean says, I do talk too much. I take that on the chin, but I'm not wrong. Anyway.
Yeah, you do.
Oh, Lord.
Keith, Raw.
I love the start of it. I love what they're doing with Braun Breaker, to be honest with you. It feels different with him over the last couple of months, what they're doing with him. But I'm loving it. And I'm loving to see what they're going to do next week with him as well. It's nice to see LA Knight coming back as well, because I do actually like him too. Javon Evans, and El Grande Americano, I'm not really into this, to be quite honest with you. I really hope they just do something else with Javon Evans, because I just don't like El Grande Americano at all. I just think they need to just go away. Speaking of going away, yeah, the Bella Twins didn't give a shit, to be quite honest with you. I skipped this and I just had no interest in what they had to say. And then, sorry, Sean. Yeah, they're shit, sorry. Anyways.
Tell me lies, tell me sweet little lies.
Penta and Bronson Reed look okay match, decent, you know. I still don't know what they're going to be doing with Gunther going forward into WrestleMania. If it's going to be Brock Lesnar or if it's going to be someone else, I don't know, but it'll be interesting to see. Obafemi, yeah, I would have preferred if it wasn't the War Raiders, to be honest with you, if it was someone else, because I do like the War Raiders. I think they're decent as a tag team. The Liv Morgan situation, that is just going to be a slow burner. I think they're just going to do something there with them and Raquel. And yeah, I'm fucking delighted at the Stephanie McCord match. I hate her fucking new theme song. It's absolute shit. You need
Raquel should have won.
No, she shouldn't. No.
She should.
No, she shouldn't.
Mm-hmm.
No, because I'm delighted she didn't win, to be quite honest with you. So
Right.
no, and just look, it was a really good match. A few sloppy bits in it, but a very good match. And the ending of it, CM Punk and Roman Reigns. Yeah, I'm looking forward to watching this match and the promos for it.
Dave?
Hello, all. How are
All
we?
right, Dave.
Hi, Dave.
Hi, Dave. Thanks for coming.
No, I think I'm going to continue on Keith's point there. I think with Braun Breaker, I love the start. I think what they're trying to do with him here is, I think there's a slow face turn coming with Braun Breaker over time. I think what they're trying to do here is they're trying to work the anti-hero angle with Braun Breaker. They want people to love him for what he's doing, going against the establishment. And I think it'll be him and Pierce to create this almost Austin McMahon-esque kind of feud. Because it is there, it's coming, you can see it, and I absolutely love what they're doing with him because WWE hasn't really had an anti-hero in an awful long time. LA Knight, this was amazing. I love this. Just the fact that he kept coming in, attacking and leaving, it's so opportunistic. I absolutely loved it. Absolutely loved that segment. El Grande Americano, just give me Chad Gable. Give me Ludwig Kaiser back. I feel like he lost his push because they needed an El Grande Americano. I was enjoying Ludwig Kaiser as he was. So we were, I really just get rid of it. Just end it. I want the Spider-Man meme match at Elimination Chamber where they just point at each other and the person who loses gets stripped of the gimmick. Hence Ludwig Kaiser. Gunther, I pissed myself laughing at the entrance. I thought it was absolutely genius. Hitting that theme song, getting the whole crowd to pop, and then running out like a dope in the style of AJ was brilliant. I understand where you're coming from, Bren, with the awkwardness that you spoke about. With Gunther and how he feels very awkward. I think he shrugged that off with this AJ entrance and the promo. I think, okay, now he's comfortable.
I must say I agree with you. I forgot to mention that, but I must say, yeah.
What did you ask me before, Bren, that you wanted me to answer for Raw?
How do you think how do you think Drew McIntyre looks kind of after that? And you to be fair, you kind of half answered that and it made me think, but fire away.
Yeah. So with the Drew McIntyre cast-offs between CM Punk and Roman Reigns, I think what they were trying to do was make the people in the audience definitively know they're not going for that title, right? These are faces, they're gonna turn down Drew McIntyre and shit all over him anyway. But it keeps Drew McIntyre on the SmackDown story and keeps them away from Raw. So it gives people something to watch on SmackDown. They're alluding to McIntyre and these guys shitting all over McIntyre. Now people are going to go watch SmackDown. Does he have a response? Is he going to cut a promo back to them? Do you know what I mean? So I think they've done it absolutely right. I think they were spot on the money having them shit all over McIntyre. Obafemi, big mistake. If you're going to have a 2-on-1 handicap match against Obafemi, at least make it a tag team that's not as beefy, as agile, and as good in the ring as the War Raiders. Toss Los Americanos out there, have them ragdoll for 5 minutes, and then have him pin both of them with both feet. I couldn't care. That makes sense to me. That they're just feeding them fodder basically. What they done with the War Raiders, I felt was wrong. The War Raiders are not weak guys, and this is two big guys coming up against Obafemi. I think this made Obafemi, it damaged them a little bit, not a lot, but a little bit, because they need to at least make it not believable, but you get what I mean. It needs to be a tag team that's going to be believable. They're going to get ragdolled for a bit and they're going to get beaten. The Liv Morgan, do you know what I liked about Dom Mysterio coming back? They didn't focus too much on him. He didn't make a big deal coming out. They made it about Liv. I kind of like that. He came out, he introduced her, she had a promo, and that was it. Do you know what I mean? Like, they didn't, yes, he came back, but he didn't make a big deal about it, which makes me think, when he does come back properly, I'm looking forward to seeing what he does with it, because I don't think last night was his proper comeback. I think he's still nursing that injury and coming back to be kind of Liv Morgan's arm candy. The end promo, I was glued to the end promo. It was so good. Both of them absolutely top form. Two of the best in the business at the moment. Overall, I do you know what? 8.5 out of 10 for Raw for me. It really was. It opened up well with something explosive, and a finish with two whopper promos. And then the middle was great because you had you still don't know whether Liv's going to go for Stephanie Vickers' title after that attack. She held it up. She kind of looked, shrugged her shoulders, put it back down, and walked out. So now we have to look at SmackDown to find out if she's going to do anything for that title with Jade Cargill. I don't think she will. I think she'll go for the Raw title, but it still gives you that little bit of doubt in your mind. So yeah, that's me. Over to Shauno.
Yeah.
You know, believe it or not, I enjoyed Raw this week. I know it's not like me. I love the fact LA Knight's back. I do. But am I taking to Braun Breaker as of late? Not exactly. I feel he's hot, but I feel like it's cooled down as of the past maybe week or two. Now, that's not to say as of next week things could heat up again. So look, I'm open to seeing where it goes, and I'm praying he gets the world title this year. I think 2026 is his year 100%. What else? Obviously, Gunther choking. Who was it out?
Dragon Lee.
Dragon Lee, yeah.
Dragon Lee.
I thought that was brilliant, and I know we just talked about the whole, Gunther coming out pretending he's AJ Styles, and a few weeks back on the podcast, I gave out stink about Gunther, saying how I didn't like him, I was sick of him. Do you know what? As of late, I'm actually really enjoying him, and I think last night really confirmed that for me. I'm like, you know what? This is freaking brilliant. So I can't wait to see where this goes. I'm.
No, I'll add that to the turncoat list, yeah.
And then Javon Evans, El Grande Americano. Look, Dave, you put it perfectly there. Get El Grande Americano the hell off my screen. The Venti Iced El Grande Americano, whatever the hell he's called, I don't give a shit anymore. Get him the hell off my screen. Javon Evans, 6'7", the young OG, yes please. Have him on my screen every week. An absolute phenomenal talent. Future star, future champion without a shadow of a doubt. And the Bella Twins. Look, I know you guys aren't the biggest fan of the Bella Twins, but I just want to take a second to talk about them. Because for someone who grew up watching them and absolutely loves them, it actually, believe it or not, sent me into tears last night just because the nostalgia of seeing them on my TV screen together again for the first time in 7 years.
Yeah.
I just thought it was phenomenal, and I can't wait to see where things go. If they get the tag titles they do, they said that, this will possibly be their last run. So if they get the tag titles they do. If they don't, they don't. Look, I'm one of those people who's just happy to be along for the ride, and that is that. And Oba Femi beating the crap out of the War Raiders. I love the War Raiders, but damn, I enjoyed every bit of it. Oba Femi, one of my absolute favorites in NXT. I'm so excited to see what he does on the main roster. Overall, Roman Reigns and CM Punk, am I interested in it? Yes. Was it my first choice? No. But then again, it is what it is, and I'm also excited to see where it goes. Look, Raw, solid 7 out of 10.
Cool.
Lovely.
Oh, what else? What else do I add? Where do I begin? I thought obviously the ending of the show was fantastic. I thought the significance of Punk wearing the Best in the World shirt again was really, really cool. Hadn't seen it on him in a while.
Sorry,
so
Niall,
I
can I
thought that
just
was
point something
class.
out?
No, give Niall his
Yeah, go
time.
ahead.
Don't be shitting on other people.
No,
okay,
Sorry, boss. What are you missing?
there's one thing we didn't talk about was Finn Balor's promos, and it led to nothing.
Well, that's why we
Probably
didn't
gonna
talk
get to
about
that.
it.
He's probably going to get to that till you interrupt.
It's going to
Oh,
lead
sorry,
to something.
Yeah, God, let him speak for us. Fuck's sake.
Yeah, I was going to bring it up, but you beat me to it. I just didn't understand the sandwiching of it. I thought the two vignettes were very, very good. I thought they were put together very, very well, but I don't know. I think as much as I'm a huge Finn Balor fan, I think sometimes the promos deliver way more than the credibility of what's going on. And I don't know where they squeeze him in and where it fits in order to deliver a title that's credible that we will get behind. So I'm not too sure. I don't know what way that plays out. I think maybe he might have to go the Drew way. It was kind of weird putting those video packages out, you know, and the boys dropping that kind of promo in the ring and stuff like that, which was absolutely outstanding. So it was kind of weird. I loved Gunther coming out doing the AJ Styles thing because they're the Rock and all and stuff like that. It always hits the straps, and it's really, really cool. Strangling Dragon Lee out, I don't really get it, and I don't see any world in which Gunther strangles Brock Lesnar. Knowing Brock Lesnar, I don't see that happening. I don't see that being booked, and I don't see that being agreed to in any way, shape, form, or fashion. And Night back again, thought he had a lot to play, a big part to play in this show, and also in the Rumble as well, especially on the back of Unreal, which did him a little bit dirty, so he had a lot to prove. Yeah, not much else to ask. I thought the Bellas did a good job on the promo. I thought it was fitting that they dropped it the way they did, especially being in Philly. I thought timing is everything, and that's a tough Philly crowd. I've experienced it myself. I know how tough they and relentless they can be. I'm going to make a call now on Obafemi that people are not going to like. Obafemi is going to become a sideshow like Great Khali. And he ain't going to become anything that's legit.
Bitch,
Putting
please.
that out there now. And
Bobby
I
Lashley.
will happily die on that hill if I have to.
Hey,
I just
get off
don't
my
see
hill.
it. I just looked at
Go ahead.
I looked at it
Make
there.
my day.
I looked at it there last night, and I haven't died on any hills yet, remember? But I looked at that last night, and I just see him coming
had a
down
few.
to the ring with a necklace. He has a necklace full of Dunkin' Donuts. He dances to the ring. He just, to me, it's just Kamala versus Apollo Crews versus the Random Headhunter. And I just think these often become just sideshows. They put them out there. Will they put a belt on them? They probably will. They'll whip it off them as quick as they put. It just feels, for me, it just feels Khali kind of vibes off it and stuff like that, you know. So I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm doing them a disservice. I hope I am wrong. But we shall see what happens. I thought Penta and Bronson Reed, I thought was excellent. Really, really enjoyed it. No less than what I'd expect from two guys. I hold Liv Morgan absolutely sensational. Just gets better each week. Really like Stephanie and Raquel. I think Raquel has a huge future in the business, stuff like that. Stephanie is what she is. We know how good she is. And yeah, solid kind of Raw. No different from what you'd expect after a lot of travel and a Royal Rumble and, you know, crossing continents and flight times and time zones and all that kind of stuff. I thought they generally delivered. Sometimes these can fall flat in their face when travel and all is involved. But yeah, good to see. Happy enough with it.
Can I challenge you on something, Niall, just for a sec? Just the Obafemi thing. I think you knew I was probably
Challenging leadership.
Yeah.
Kind of
So-
forever.
My thing, well, my thing with Obafemi is just on what you said there, right? He can cut a promo. We've seen it. So he's already better than Khali, and he can wrestle. We've seen it. He's already better than Khali. He's better than Kamala. Is your issue with the fact that he wears balls around his neck, as in the Dunkin' Donut jokes? Because no. But I'm not trying to be funny. I didn't mean to say that. I'm not trying to be funny.
Use
but-
better words.
Like, yeah, I know. But the point is, he hits every metric that I can see so far. Right? I understand what you're saying, but your comparisons to me are not right because he's not. It's not comparable bringing in the great Khali. He can speak. He can
Maybe
speak
similar
much
to Bobby
better English.
Lashley,
He puts a
isn't he?
solid promo, and he can wrestle. He's put on great matches in NXT. So
You were
With that
probably an Apollo Crews fan as well, were you? Yeah.
I was Niall, yeah.
I was too, yeah.
Okay.
What's that
I was,
supposed to
like-
mean?
Then we don't.
Well, except when he did
We don't need to. We don't need to say anything else then, do we?
You're
fair
forgetting
enough, fair enough.
Obafemi is a two-time NXT champion, the longest reigning North American champion in history. You know, phenomenal.
Where's
Whether he wears balls around his neck or
where's
not.
Tommaso Ciampa now? And where's Tommaso Ciampa now? Also a decorated NXT champion. Thank you. Bye.
Sorry.
Another one bites the dust.
Well,
Next.
folks, I think it's home time. I think it's home
This
time.
podcast is
Next.
sponsored by Zero
Oh,
Cola.
for God's
Yes,
sake,
folks.
Niall, there he is. There it
This-
is. Actually,
This podcast is sponsored by OnlyPans.
Niall,
There you go.
I have a special gift for you tonight, right? You ready for this?
Go
Give
on.
me 1
Go
second.
on.
Oh God.
Are we always walking away for
Keep
this
your
one?
clothes
Tommaso
on.
Ciampa is the greatest
Um,
TNT champion in history.
Right.
Now we spoke about brands the
Inside,
last time.
it's inside the last week, and even that's debatable how big a fan I am of
Monster
the other ones.
Claws. Look, Monster
Kyle.
Claws. No Monster
What are
Woods.
they?
Monster Claws.
What's the difference?
The difference is
difference?
about €3, and one goes through quality control in the factory, and the other one just slides into a box and into a shop. That's the difference.
All right.
Not that I'm a
Alrighty.
fan of either, by the way. I wouldn't be a fan of those kind of things. Monster Claws, Extra Cola, Freeway Cola. What are we about here? What's the story?
Saving money.
Well, not for me. I'm just a cheap cunt.
I thought it was the Ukraine that were at war, not Ireland. Jesus Christ. Monster Claws, Extra Cola, and all the rest of it. Come on, lads.
Oh, Jesus.
Have a standard, will you? We're supposed to be wrestling fans. We're supposed to have a standard, like, you know what I mean?
As a chef, I'm utterly disappointed.
You should be. You should be. If you had to see what I had to endure on that Rumble watch along. Extra Cola. Extra Cola. Yeah, that's Monster.
Extra
That's a
Cola
brand.
what?
There you go. You have
Like
a bit of
like the
class about
drink?
you.
Mhm.
You're not drinking.
Extra Cola.
You're not drinking like pig's sperm sac juice from Lidl and Aldi or something. You're actually drinking a brand. You
There you
know?
go.
Don't knock.
No,
knock-
there's a brand for you, right? I'm drinking
that?
brand, okay?
Is
Coca-Cola.
that Coke
Cherry.
Zero? Coca-Cola
Coke
Cherry.
Cherry.
Sorry. Jesus.
Oh,
Coca-Cola
that's
cherry.
lovely.
Jesus, folks, it's worse than I thought.
Is that cherry?
Lovely. Cherry's
Yeah, it is,
lovely.
Blech.
Diabetes is running wild in this place. That's for sure. Let's go. Right,
Right.
Keith, tag teams. This was your section. You wanted to bring this up. We didn't have time last week, so we said we would tackle it.
Where's
this week.
DIY?
Keith, present us this list. Be the
DIY
boss.
doesn't exist.
Present this to us and
Where's
tell
the
us
I just
women?
wanted
where
everybody-
you agree.
I just wanted everybody's opinion on this. What did they think of it? It doesn't have to be the top 50, but the top 10. I just came across it when I was online, and I said I thought it'd be a cool little topic to talk about. Personally,
While you were
me,
trolling,
I don't think New Day should be number one. I think it's Legion of Doom should be number one. That's just me. But yeah, I'd just like to know all your opinions. What you think? If you have
I
anything.
think it
to
depends.
say.
I think it depends on what era you watch. So I think Legion of Doom, like obviously, if you said Legion of Doom is one of my favorite tag teams to any kind of like 90s fans or people that were watching it at a certain age, then that would be the case. Whereas the New Day is the more kind of like modern, successful tag team, and USO. So when those lists are being made, I think what's newer comes to mind quicker. In my opinion.
Yeah,
Maybe.
I just think for me, I just don't
Recency
think they're better
bias. Recency
than- I
bias.
just don't
Yeah.
think
I'm
they're
thinking,
better than
isn't it?
Legion of Doom, to be honest with you.
Because I'd be the same as you, Keith. I love the British Bulldogs, the Heart Foundation,
Yeah,
the Legion of Doom. If you really want to watch good tag team wrestling, just watch any British Bulldogs versus Heart Foundation match. Absolutely phenomenal, way ahead of their time. This is where Will Ospreay probably studied those videos, and then he turned it into circuit. Forget it. But either way, those are the tag teams that I would personally love. And
would you have Demolition as in the top 10?
of
They're
course,
really-
I was in HQ the other day in Niall's shop, and basically there's a Demolition t-shirt, and it wasn't in my size. I had it in my hand, and it's a bleeding deli one. It's the one with their faces on it.
Yeah.
Quality t-shirt, unbelievable. But I think looking at this list makes me sad about the state of tag team wrestling and what tag team wrestling has become. Noel, you touched on it recently as well, so I think you're more of a tag team guy than I am personally.
Yeah, I mean, like, look at this slide. It's amazing when you go down through the list, regardless of the rankings or the numbers. I mean, I think for me, who I've looked at all these practically through my fandom, most of you, some of you might have been just on catch up on it, but I've seen all these generally and lived through most of them, I would say, if not all of them. So for me, it's a real nostalgia throwback, which I hate ranking because all of these tag teams at a certain point in my fandom have delivered something to me. Everyone knows how big I am on the Usos. I think when the dust settles on tag team wrestling, we may find that the Usos probably get ranked up there very close to number one. I would imagine if you had just been at WrestleMania 33, you might put the Hardy at number one. So it's all about timing as well, and it's all about and nostalgia and all that kind of stuff. Can we negate the effect that the Shield had on the business at 22? Could we really put DX at 21? The Undisputed Era at 20, when you think what they did for Black and Gold, absolutely sensational. So they've all had a really huge part to play in wrestling, and that's why I love tag team wrestling so much. Mm-hmm. I certainly do not argue with the list in any way.
I can.
And even going back to my Velocity days with London and Kendrick, probably the real question for this: who's missing? Is there anyone missing off this list? No, you were supposed to do a women's list for this last week.
This is only men.
No, I didn't get anything about it.
This is only men, Emma.
I think you did, because I think when we brought it up on the conversation, we did say that we needed to do a women's list as well. And I think if I remember rightly on the podcast, you offered your services to put a women's list together. But we could run it back and we could check it. Maybe I'm wrong. But you're not
just
going
on
to.
that,
I think.
Sorry,
go ahead.
I was just going to say, it's kind of pointless now, but the women's tag team is a little bit younger, as in terms of, do you have a list there?
Yeah, I have a list.
Because honestly, when you say women's tag team, right, this is how the first team that comes to my mind in terms of pure devastation is the Divas of Doom, right? So Natty and Beth Phoenix, they were phenomenal, and they would have made a fantastic long-term tag team, and they are proper, Do you know what I mean?
I would change.
We'll change in a minute. I think in terms of the women's list, I'm not going to sit here and debate women's tag teams onto the men's tag teams list. I think it would be unfair to the women and the men. I don't think it's the way to do it. I don't want to sit here and compare the Bella Twins to the Hardys. I think that's very unfair on both tag teams or whoever. And I don't think in terms of ranking, I don't think it's the way to think. It should be kept separate. Because
it definitely
should be as much as I like a lot of the women's tag teams and stuff like that as well. You look at a lot of these tag teams around here, there's arguments like I even go back to my Velocity days when I watched London and Kendrick, who were absolutely amazing on Velocity.
They were deadly,
and only for they didn't toe the company line, probably would have been way more successful, to be honest, But so many of them there. But in terms of Emma, if you want to shout out some of the women's ones, if you have some there.
So Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill. We have the Kabuki Warriors, Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez, Bayley and Sasha Banks, Lay Cool, Layla Michelle McCool. Of course, right now, Rhea Ripley and Io Sky, Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax, Alba Fire and Isla Dawn. Yeah, just to name a few here. And again,
which that point at such an infancy that it was in,
And you really can't put them with the men's either, because I think each tag team has their own kind of chemistry,
It's just,
and I can't really recall to mind as well, but there's probably been lots of really good women's ones down in NXT as well.
Yeah, Sol Ruka.
Go ahead, Bran.
No, I was just going to say, to me, that division is too young. The quality of that division is too young anyway, because I think only in recent years, and this could be my ignorance, Emma, and I'm like that, I'd be very open at it, because women's tag team wrestling wasn't given the right treatment it should have been. I think there's a bit of that, and certainly the talent pool hasn't always been as good for tag team wrestling, in my opinion. And again, I'm always open for debate on that. So the reality of it is, if you walked up to somebody in the street and you said, "What's your top 5 tag teams?" they won't turn around to you and they won't say, "Which gender are you talking about?" Typically, they'll turn around and they'll say, "Bum, bum, 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 bum." And I'm not saying that that's right. It just speaks to the fact that the men's tag team division goes right back. And remember, women didn't get what they deserved until fairly recently. Let's face it, fairly recently. They were unfortunately, Trish Stratus was barking like a dog in the early 2000s. Wrong, absolutely wrong. So I think to even bring a women's tag team into this, I don't think there's too much depth in the longevity of it. Do you know what I'm saying? And again, that's my opinion. You listed off a few tag teams there, but that's still like I'm looking at a list of 50 tag teams there to the left. You know what I mean? Do you think I'm being a bit narrow-minded there? I'm very open.
You think? No, you're not. Like, if you think even of the infancy of the women's tag team titles, you know what I mean? So, like, you got to think of it in that case as well. But yeah, I think Annie, who's Keith? You said you think who's missing off the list? Who are you missing?
Well, no, I was going to change two things. Me, Shelton Benjamin and Charlie Haas for me were one of the best tag teams I've ever watched. I thought they were sensational. I would have had them higher than, what are they, 37th? I would put them in the least top 20, 25. That's just me. I wouldn't, even though I love them, I wouldn't have the Brothers of Destruction in the top 10. They're, for me, in the top probably 20. I would have had Demolition above them, to be quite honest. That's just me.
For me, the Rockers were the big one. Looking at, I never grew up with them. They were before I started watching wrestling, but I did go back and watch a lot of them. I think the Rockers were influential in a way that they evolved tag team wrestling from a working together point of view. The tag team moves that were in the ring. I think they helped build what the Hardys and Edge and Christian eventually became. I think they were the inspiration for a lot of the high flying tag teams as well, because they did a lot of stuff that wasn't normal back in the day. So for me, the kind of one that stands out and I'm glad is there is probably the Rockers.
100%.
Yeah, I suppose the big thing around that as well, Dave, is the fact that it was such a huge big man sport at the time. So when the smaller guys came in, they could come in as tag teams and still get over and be very successful and become superstars. Yeah, whereas exactly. if Sean had to come in straight away and Marty had to come in straight away as singles competitors, they would have got eaten up and spat out back into territories, I think.
Exactly.
So I think that was very, very important as well. And also one of the greatest heel turns within a tag team ever as well.
Yeah.
When they turned
That's a shame. They won a tag title, but it was they won a tag title, but it was negated because during the taping that happened, the ring rope broke and they had to finish the match. But the title change was never recorded officially. So they never officially won the tag titles off of I think it was the British Bulldogs. Or the Hart Foundation. Oh, sorry, the Hart Foundation.
Can I just say one thing? I can't see them here. Maybe I just don't see them. But Midnight Express is not on this.
Good point, yeah. Very good point.
Techno Team 2000, they're nowhere to be seen. I'm not having that. Team, Techno Team 2000.
He doesn't know Techno Team. He's not a WWE.
The Heavenly Bodies. Do you know what? Do you know what I think would be a great conversation?
The Hollywood Blondes.
Yeah,
great conversation.
You know why the Midnight Express aren't on this list? Because they haven't agreed to their Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Corny balls.
Don't think for a moment these lists don't throw shade either, you know.
Bonkers LFC 3067 kind of gave me an idea. He says the women tag team, they don't tag for long and they break up fairly quickly, right? So I think an interesting topic would be, and it could be all inclusive with the women as well, is looking at various tag teams. Obviously, we don't cover it now because if we do, we'll be here until tomorrow. Looking at various tag teams and looking at what happened after they broke up and who went where. I think that's a cool topic to go about. You look at Edge and Christian, two very different paths. I was a Christian guy. A lot of people were Edge guys, and I get it. I understand. I always thought Christian was the better one. You brought it up yourself, Marty and Sean. That was interesting in itself. The APA.
Sorry, Bren. Sorry, just the
if you ever interrupt me again, I will slap you in the face.
Fuck off. No, do you know what, Bren? No, lick me hoop. Go on.
Anyway, I just think that's an interesting conversation, and what that does is it brings the women's tag teams in as well, because obviously you can look at women tag teams that have broken up and gone their separate ways and say, do you know what, I think Brie is better than Nikki. Here's why. I think Nikki's better than Brie, and here's why, and so on. And I use them as an example because they're recent, topical. Do not stick your finger up at me, Sean. I seen what you did there.
Bren, right? Don't attack me. I'm grieving at the moment.
There's a good show. Sorry, go on, Sean.
I'm grieving for two reasons. One, whichever idiot made this put DIY at 38. That's an absolute crime. And the second one is, do you know who's not on the list? RK Bro.
Get off this podcast.
Well, get off this podcast, you. Jesus.
Listen,
It probably is, Sean, but this is only 1 to 50.
Yeah, to be
There's a
fair.
whole other 50 out there as well, I'm sure.
Jesus.
To be
The
fair,
Harlem Heat and the Outsiders
No
are
one's
two
put-
great
no-
shouts. Absolutely whopper shouts
Yeah.
there from Acers.
And the Beverly Brothers.
Beverly Brothers, yeah.
Jason, remember that move where they injured the guy, the enhancement talent?
Yeah, Jesus Christ. Broke his neck, ended his career.
Oh. Well, yeah. It's
Maybe
an
that's why they're
interesting
not on
topic.
there.
I think it's an interesting
good,
topic.
Good topic, though.
Yeah.
Good conversational topic. Yeah. That's why I said last week it needed a bit of time. We didn't want to rush through it. I'm not going to dwell too long on this, but these boys have a little bit of a feud going on. They had words the other day as well. So it was quite insane. Yeah.
Give me
That's
that
how good.
Mania.
That's how good Logan Paul is. That's how good he is. He's always working. He's done this. He does this with fans as well. How he interacts with everybody, and that's how good he is. And just on the flip side of that, I don't know if you have any of you seen it. There was a video of Logan Paul. There was a fan there specifically to see Logan, and he went down, and the kid started crying. He got upset, and Logan was a diamond to him. Logan is a WWE superstar, and whether you like him or you
Was
don't
there a
like him,
camera there, Brent? Was there a camera on him?
you're damn right there was a camera on him.
Yeah, that's why he was all diamond to the kid. That makes sense now.
He's
Ah,
banned
come
from
on.
Japan.
Oh, you can't say that. Anyway, sorry, Noel. Further away. I guess you can say that, but I don't like it. Go on.
Marge Simpson here dropped her Mount Rushmore. Thoughts?
Ah.
Anyone thoughts on Batista's Mount Rushmore? Probably not surprising.
It's not
Probably
surprising.
not surprising.
Yeah.
I would have thought maybe John Cena would have been in there because of the era.
Instead of who, like Stone Cold or something.
I don't know how much Stone Cold would have meant to Batista, you know what I mean? Undertaker obviously does. They had their time. Triple H obviously a massive influence on the guy. Obviously,
Ric
he
Flair
spent so much
evolution.
time on Ric Flair and stuff and all, you know. So, or
But is he
maybe he
looking at
could
it
have went. Maybe Randy should have been in there. I don't know. So,
Yeah, but is he looking at it from a standpoint that John Cena is my generation and about nice t-shirt, man. I like purple. Is he looking at it from a standpoint? Who's laughing? Shut up, Keith. I'm only messing. Is he looking at it from a standpoint that John Cena is in his generation, right? And he just didn't add him, and it's not. It's kind of like a legacy standpoint. Would it not be? Triple H, you brought him in. Triple H was what was he? He was the legend at the time, and Batista was the future. I don't know. I'm trying to justify it now.
well, I'm trying to
Sean-
think about
Sean.
it in a way. Like if you surveyed 100 wrestling fans about their Mount Rushmore, would 95 of them probably have John Cena on their Mount Rushmore?
I would say so.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
100%. And
No
I'd
doubt.
be one of them. Yeah.
Sean, who's your Mount Rushmore out of interest? Put on the spot here. Besides Johnny Gargano.
Johnny G. Because Keith can't
Uh,
pronounce. Neither can I.
No.
Well, Mount Rushmore's 5, isn't it? 4, 5,
4.
4.
Do you know what? I'll tell you what. I'll give you that one because you probably don't know what Mount Rushmore is. But it's a big mountain with 4
I'm not
faces on it.
ancient. I know what it is, jackass.
Said 5. Just saying.
Well, I was
Well, you
going to
can
be
name-
nice
look,
and
you
give
can
you an
name
extra
5
one,
if
but
you
you can
want to.
feck off. You can feck off now.
We can build it.
We've got, obviously, John Cena.
Yep.
How about you go kick rocks? We've got John Cena. We've got Randy Orton.
Okay.
We've got Rick Flair. No, I'm joking. No, I'm not that stupid. We've got, let's see. You've really put me on the spot. Feck you,
I
Dave.
really have.
Have a
right
think
now.
about it. Update us in the chat, right? And what we'll do is we
Yeah.
might touch on it next week, right? So
Well,
have
you
a
can
think
tell
about it
us as-
because
you can tell us as we go along.
I could give you a women's one right now easily.
Shocker.
well, I mean, he's more.
You're just pissed because Stephanie Bacchera.
I just wanted a Sean's
Am I?
Mount Rushmore because the younger, like he's of a younger generation of wrestling, so it's interesting to see other than the Hogans and the Cenas and the Austins and all that stuff. Like
real quick, Sean. Give us your women's, right? You said you could do it real quick.
China.
Yeah.
Trish Stratus.
Okay.
Yep.
Becky Lynch.
well,
AJ Lee.
Nikki Bella.
Nikki Bella.
Right. So 3 out of 4 ain't
One
bad.
half
Thanks,
of
Sean.
the Bella twins goes in after
What's
the Fiore
No,
of
no,
the
no.
last
They're a
2
tag
days.
team.
One.
They didn't go in.
Nah.
They're a tag team.
Nah.
Tag teams enter as one.
Piss off, Brie.
You said Nikki Bella.
No, no,
That's
no,
what
no,
you
no.
said.
Do you know what? Then
No, you sold
no,
her out.
We'll go Becky Lynch, Trish Stratus, Nikki Bella, and Brie Bella. There you go.
Wow. Okay.
So China just got
Res-
bumped for
respect.
Brie Bella. Okay.
No, I can't fucking win with you, can I?
Jesus.
No, it's all. I'm only asking. It's okay. It's all
There's
good.
no
It's
wrong,
all good.
Sean.
Black
There's
hoodie
no
guy.
wrong. There's no wrong.
Everyone has one. Quick fire pick on Black hoodie guy. Bren.
Logan Paul.
I'm gonna go with Finn Balor.
Bren.
John
It's-
Moxley.
Finn Balor.
Finn Balor, yeah.
Keith.
Yeah, that's who I'm gonna go.
Logan Paul.
Dave. Logan Paul.
Logan Paul, yep.
Sean.
Ric Flair.
Piss off, Sean. Give us a real one.
Logan Paul.
Okay.
Logan Paul. Emma.
Logan Paul.
Wow. All right.
Nice.
Niall.
I'm kind of on that Logan Paul train as well, but I'm going to throw a curveball here. I'm going to go with Jake Paul.
Oh,
Nice.
no.
Jesus Christ.
That's the day
I
I
don't-
stopped watching
I
wrestling.
don't think he's built enough for Jake Paul. Jake Paul's got a wider frame than Logan. That
No.
doesn't
At
make
the
him
same
right for him.
time, Dave. At the same
We
time,
see Adam
the
Pearce,
person
though.
in
And
the
he's a
mask,
prick.
the person in the mask that night might not necessarily the person be to be revealed
I
a
know
few
that,
weeks
yeah,
later,
yeah.
right? So
we see Adam
it's
Pearce
just-
though as a shout.
People are talking.
Adam Pearce.
He doesn't have a ginger beard, so I'd say no.
We should say.
Or a strawberry blonde beard, so no.
Sami Zayn.
No, his beard is too big.
We'll see. We'll see. Like I said, for me, I went with Balor because of what's going on. But like, Adam Pearce, I'd love it was Adam Pearce. Anyway, what we talking about now?
We are talking
My
about
shadow knows my
when it's booked
story.
right, it's booked right.
Brilliant.
Is that future main events WWE main
What?
event star? Yeah, it is. It's Ciampa. He's got. I think he's due to be back in WWE main event in the next year.
How
Yeah,
far did
that's
you
the
make it in
one.
wrestling, Bren?
That's harsh, Sean.
The lad in the black hoodie is obviously Hornswoggle.
Yeah, on stilts.
I mean, Mark doesn't normally get it wrong.
Right, AEW
Oh,
guys, talk to me. Tommaso Ciampa.
The Bellas can't be on it for fuck's sake. Maybe Niagara Falls. Sean Reigns, he will be back for SummerSlam.
Whoa.
There we go.
Right,
Anthem going
I
in
When
will-
you're
hard.
good, you're good.
I will
When you're
take the
good, you're
reins
good.
on this subject. This is a perfect example for me of when it's done right, it's done right. And when I say that, you know, everything just fit with this debut for Tommaso Ciampa in AEW. His team was bang on. His entrance was fantastic. His ring gear is great. Mainly down to his opponent, Mark Briscoe. Teaming him up against Mark Briscoe for a match, brilliant. I loved it because the two of them have a similar style. They're two gritty guys, you know what I mean? Really don't give a fuck about fuck, for lack of a better term. And they're just going to be hard hitting guys. And I think they've done great with Tommaso Ciampa. They get it very rarely right on the money, but this is one of those rare times where they got it absolutely right. I couldn't be happier for the guy. And you know what? Sometimes I'm very hesitant about guys getting titles right out the gate. But I have a feeling giving him this title is going to start a feud against Mark Briscoe, and it's going to be very, very entertaining going forward. I don't know if Ciampa will reach the heights of the main event in AEW, but he definitely will light up that upper mid card. That TNT title will now be kind of looked at a bit more than it was. It stepped up a level with Mark Briscoe. It's now going up another level now if they can build this feud around it and have it as a strong mid card title. I think the feud, the two people they've picked, perfect for each other.
Sean?
Dave said it all there. I can't see Tommaso Ciampa being a massive star in AEW, but definitely top of the mid card. And as he said, they rarely get it right, but they hit it right on the money, and it is absolutely perfect. Obviously, massive star in NXT, leaned off a bit, took their foot off the gas a little bit once he hit the main roster, even though he got the tag titles. but I feel like this is perfect. You can't get better than this, folks, really. And not just because it's Ciampa, because I'm a massive DIY fan. That chapter's over, and I'm okay with that. This is the new chapter. I'm 100% excited. I'm 100% strapped in, ready to see where this goes. Strap a rocket to this man, keep the title on him for a while. Let's see where it goes. I'm 100% here for it.
Yeah. And the Psycho Killer moniker is great. It just puts across the kind of character he's going to be. He's going to be unhinged. He's going to be unpredictable. He's going to be probably that, crazy guy that'll snap on a dime. So I'm here for it.
And do you know, once he announced that he wouldn't be renewing his contract, obviously I said in the chat that, maybe TNA would be good for him. I took a step back and I thought of that. I said to myself, do you know what? TNA wouldn't be the place for him. I think his character fits absolutely perfectly in AEW. And I'm not afraid to admit when I'm wrong. And I was 100% wrong. I know. I can't believe I'm saying either. Feels like a fever dream. But AEW is 100% perfect for him. This Psycho Killer is just phenomenal so far. And as I said, I can't wait to see where this goes.
I think the ROH Bedrock as well worked with Mark Briscoe because he was obviously there when Ciampa was there in ROH. So there is that little bit of a foundation between the two of them as well. So they could allude to that on comms. They could allude to that during the match. They had a bit of history there as well. So I think that helped massively. But that's all I'll say about that. Very happy with how they've handled Ciampa and AEW.
Brad?
I wish him the best, honestly. All messing aside, I gave him a bit of stick, and I do mean it. Like, they have to be careful because, like I said, Rusev, Andrade, Malachi Black, Buddy Matthews, Keith Lee. There's a bit of a list there, and there's a bit of a trend that, and again, there's rules and exceptions that you go to AEW, you get watered down all of a sudden, and Rusev's a prime example. We talked about it last week. In saying all of that, let's like what I did with the Bellas. Let's clear that slate. Let's clear that slate and let's judge them how to go forward because Ciampa is a quality wrestler. He's absolutely brilliant. I do love watching his matches. I hope he doesn't fall into that trap. And again, I hope I'm wrong. I hope it's not. Listen, lads and ladies, I did say he'd be back at WWE main event. And here we are almost a year and a half later. He's having his goodbye career in NXT or something like that. So, yeah, I wish him the best, Noel. I wish him the best.
Yeah, I think with him, obviously with the Ring of Honor Foundation there in him and stuff like that, I think he was never comfortable going up onto the main roster. He fought it for about 2 or 3 years to not come up and stay in NXT. And eventually he had to relent and come up. And I don't think he ever felt comfortable in that kind of bigger, glitzy environment, if you want to call it, and stuff like that. That's kind of microscopic managed and that kind of thing. I think with NXT being a little bit loose in terms of that little bit of control that you can have and stuff, probably felt very much like Ring of Honor, especially when we had the yellow or the black and gold. That's for sure. And I think what happens is he's now gone to a show that basically competes with NXT in a similar kind of level, form, of fashion. And he's around people that he's quite familiar with. And he's a much bigger say in when he walks out through that curtain and stuff like that, and the way things can shape and form and stuff like that. Sometimes we've seen it, it's worked really, really good. Other times we've seen it and it's gotten out of control and lost its place. So we'll see how this goes. I'm a big fan of the guy. I wish him well. I hope he does really, really well. And sometimes, the magnitude of Raw and SmackDown and pay-per-views and WrestleMania and all this kind of stuff is not where people land sometimes in a really, really good way, which doesn't devalue how good they are as a wrestler or a character or an athlete. And I have a lot of time for this guy and stuff like that, and I wish him well. And I tell you one thing, I'd have no problem with this guy becoming an AEW World Champion at all. I think he's put in the shift. I think he's more than capable. And I think he will endear himself greatly to that AEW crowd. They will have found a new hero at a time where they struggle to find heroes. And I like it. I'm here for it. That's it. Keith, you probably don't have much of really AEW.
Well, no, actually, one more question to ask Dave. for the TNT
Yeah.
title. I just want to ask him, is that like the equivalent of an IC title, or what is that really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So TNT title is the equivalent of, in my equivalent to the IC. I don't at the minute. I'm not really counting the international championship because I don't think it's hit the ground run. I don't think it was a good idea in the first place. But for me, the TNT championship is that IC upper mid card title, definitely. Yeah.
I just hope he
Like
doesn't
the
get
old
lost.
NWA TV,
I
the old
think that
NWA
the-
TV title or something.
Yeah,
I think the
WCW
international
released
title was
TV as well.
a great shout at first, but I think they
Yeah.
dropped the ball majorly on it.
100%.
100%.
Too many belts. Too many belts
I
across
think-
both companies. Like just too many.
This might be very controversial, but I think when Okada got the international title and combined it with the Continental, I think that's completely where it fell flat and just forgettable
Yep.
and non-existent. And that's not saying anything against Okada. Of course, he's an unbelievable wrestler, one of the best in New Japan, if not the best in New Japan. But yeah, just once he got the title, it fell completely flat. And if I'm being honest, another controversial take, I feel like it kind of fell flat with Will Ospreay too. I feel MJF's gimmick kind of saved it that little bit with the All-American title.
That was genius. See when he came out with that at All In and you had the Star Spangled Banner and all in the background, and he completely
good.
milked the fact that it was all like 100% USA in London. I thought, you genius.
so
You know?
good.
But anyway,
Right, so we'll skip over the next one. The next one is kind of the winners and the losers from the Rumble and what we liked and didn't like, but we spoke about it already. So I said I did have a surprise for you, especially for Emma and Sean. I'm sure you've read this over the last few days, but apparently there's talk of this happening.
Listen,
Thank you, Lord Jesus.
I've been praying for times like this.
Well, I don't think Jesus had any involvement in this, if I'm honest. I think he'd be highly against it, firstly. And
Oh,
secondly,
jeez.
great. Women's wrestling has just been set back 20 years.
I'd
calling them-
I'd like
we're
to-
calling them divas again. We're calling them
Relax yourself.
divas again. I'm against that. I'm against that.
No,
totally.
no, no,
Calling
no,
them
no, no.
divas.
I
Then
agree.
maybe it's not going to be called Total Divas again. It could be called something else. So let's stop the whole women's wrestling has been set back. The same people that have been, dirting on Brie in the
Emma,
chat.
there's no need for this. There's really no need for this.
Okay,
There's
but
for which?
if you no listen.
Which?
Did you see Tiffany Stratton name there? I know for a fact, Keith, you're not complaining that Tiffany
I
Stratton
don't watch this
is on it.
garbage.
You would watch it if
I
Tiffany Stratton
would
was
100%.
Stephanie McCurr.
I would 100% watch this.
Yeah, but who's saying
Yeah.
it's going to be Total Divas? It could be, a few episodes for the women. If Unreal shows this, everyone's going to watch it. It's not going to be necessarily Total Divas. If you just want to say
I would-
it's putting back women's wrestling, the same people that were dirting on Brie coming back, no, this could be a different thing.
But I'm a fan of women's wrestling. I love women's wrestling. In fact, I think they've outshined the men over the last few years. So, did I shit on Brie coming back 100% because their record isn't great in my opinion. In saying that, I don't like the whole Total Divas thing. And to be honest with you, it's not just about the fact that it's women wrestlers. I'm not a big fan of reality TV. Even Unreal, I said I liked Unreal, but I'm not mad on it. I'm looking forward to the next season with John Cena. It's not
Yeah.
about shitting on Brie Bella. It's not about that, right? And that comment about throwing wrestling back, that was a shot towards Jim Cornette, I think. This stuff isn't my bag, and I'm a fan of women wrestling. I am. You hear me big it up. I big it up all the time. But Total Divas is not my bag. I think it's badly scripted, terribly acted. I don't think it did them any favors in the long run. And I don't think this is going to do them any favors. And in fact, this leads me to believe the only reason the interest in bringing Brie Bella back is so they can inject her into this show. And the only reason the Bellas are interested in coming back is so they can get the reality TV show, because Total Bellas isn't around anymore, and it's not around anymore because it was bad TV. That's
Well,
my
again,
opinion.
Why does that
My
have
opinion,
to be
my opinion.
Why
Again-
does that have to be centered around the Bellas are back because they want to be reality TV stars? Why? What does that have to do with it? Why is it centered around that?
Sean, my opinion on wrestlers, it's universal. I don't let anybody get away with anything. If this was a total men's reality TV show, you better believe I'd be all over them saying this is brutal.
Can
This
we
is
talk about
ridiculous."
Legends House as an example, please?
Legends House, of course. No,
But
no.
listen.
But, sorry, Emma. Go on.
Listen,
Show.
right. We have this thing, Total Divas could be coming back. I don't think they're going to bring this whole thing back. I think these women, they know wrestling has come further. It's not going to be a Total Divas. It could be a documentary about themselves. We've seen Bailey has created a documentary about women's wrestling. This could be each of them talking about their journeys, their lives
Right.
outside WWE.
I hope so.
Exactly.
I hope
So there's
Right,
no
but
need-
also just
but-
on that point, Emma, Bella is Bailey's distancing herself from WWE. It's looking like she doesn't want to be any part of it. So her documentary, and my question to you then is, what if it is Total Divas again?
if
what
it's
if it
Total
is that?
Divas, okay, if it's Total Divas, I don't agree with it. But again,
I'm not
I'm going-
shitting on it. I'm not shitting on it for the sake of shitting on it. I'm looking
oh,
at
yeah,
the graphic.
I know. But
It's-
but I
do you know
agree
what I
with
mean?
you. But I think the graphic, it doesn't speak for it. I think if they have this, it's going to be about women's wrestling, their lives and stuff. It's not going to be a reality TV show. I think they've
I
moved
hope so.
way
there for
far
that.
past that.
If
I
it's
think
a mini,
Hollywood-
if it's a mini doc series, I'm all for it then.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so am I.
Like
Without
110%.
a show, I don't want to see it.
My only
Listen-
gripe was with the name. If it is like, I had a big problem with Total Divas, the name of the show back in the day, because it was at a time when reality TV was just, for lack of a better term, tarting up women and focusing on their looks too much. And there was nothing to do with the wrestling and Total Divas for the most part. That was my biggest gripe because I knew that these guys could go.
Yeah, but
With the
Dave,
many-
where do you look
It
back-
wasn't supposed to be about wrestling, though.
Yeah, but when
It was
It's
about
a
their
livelihood,
lives.
though.
It's supposed to be about their life outside of it, gives an insight into
Yeah.
their personal lives. That's really
But
what
it's
it was.
scripted,
The
Niall.
other thing I would
But-
stress as well is, at the time, you know, if the suit fits, wear it. Just because you look back on it now and it doesn't fit and it looks weird and it throws shade on what you believe and what you like about where women's dress is now, that doesn't mean at the time that it didn't fit. It did fit, very much so it fit. Total Divas was a well-viewed show. Lots and lots of people. It did really, really well at the time. Where they might go, particularly with the same name, is they might lead on the history and the audience that was back then to bring it back in and stuff like that. In no way does the name on the graphic throw any shade. Look at the mix of people who are involved. Look at the list of people who have been touted to get involved in it. They have a mix of everything in there, from hard hitters to bigger wrestlers to, you know, absolute powerhouses. Look at who's in there. Look down the bottom. Jade Cargill, Rhea Ripley. Do I want to see Jade Cargill and Rhea Ripley get into it in a coffee shop or something like that, have a row over something on reality
No.
TV?
No,
In hell, I
Well,
do. Absolutely.
I- I-
100%.
I-
What I've
sorry.
noticed,
No.
what I've noticed on TikTok and stuff, you see Tiffany Stratton, she shares daily vlogs, she shares this. It could be something like this. I'm not saying, oh yeah, I am the last person to say bring back this Divas thing. Not a hope. But I'm not going to sit here and be like, no, scrap that. Because I think if they're going to have a show that's give us an insight of their lives, you know, maybe it's a backstory as well. They could go to their old wrestling school. They could show their workouts. They could show how they deal with their family life and everything. I think it would be great.
That's fair enough, Emma, and I think you're spot on. And of course, we'd watch that and we'd cheer for it. But the subject is they're thinking about bringing back Total Divas, and that indicated to me, and my reaction, that indicated to me they're thinking about bringing back the original format, which is two Kardashians for me. I think the women of wrestling deserve better. Like, you look at that Royal Rumble, we spoke about it earlier on. Like, everybody from like Jordan Grace, she's the future. We spoke about earlier on how the landscape of wrestling might be changed. And one of the thoughts in my head was, what if Raw eventually at this stage becomes mostly a women's show because the men just aren't cutting it these days? You know what I mean? So it's not against that. I'm looking at that and I'm saying, okay, this could be Total Divas. Niall, to your point, if the suit fits, wear it. It was too Kim Kardashian for me. I don't like the Kardashians, and this is personal preference.
Ben,
And
this
What's
is
wrong
why
with
you're
keeping up with the
Ben,
Kardashians?
the Kardashians was a massive show. Is a massive show. I
Yeah.
don't know. Like we're talking about the Kardashians like it's on some B channel at 12 o'clock at night that no one watches. The Kardashians is a massively successful show.
Global.
successful or not, I don't think it suits women's wrestling. I think women's wrestling deserves better because the Kardashians did
No, but
and
Brent,
again,
but Brent,
I
we
did
get
preface that.
no, but Brent, we get
Yeah,
women's
sorry.
wrestling every day. We see women's wrestling on all the shows. It's featured highly on all the PLEs, all the pay-per-views and all. There's no shortage of women's wrestling. Where there is a shortage of what is a typical day in the life of Jade Cargill? What is a typical day in the life
that'd be
of
cool to
Rhea
see or
Ripley?
something.
Those kind of things. That's what this show is about. It's not about painting these girls as divas. I want to see Jade Cargill training in a gym. What does she do? How does she maintain that physique? How does Rhea Ripley train when she goes to wrestling training? That kind of stuff. The name is
100%.
irrelevant. The name is going to be used because the name has previous value. Don't underestimate as well. Total Divas was watched. It had an audience. It was a good show. Not
It's
in
not
terms
about-
necessarily of content, but maybe in terms of people watched it. It was an add-on to our wrestling viewing. Remember all the stuff we seen with Paige? Remember all the stuff we seen with Natty? Some of that stuff was really, really good at times. You know what I mean?
I know. Noel, just real quick, it's not about the name either. It's about the content of the show. That was my like. If they're gonna do this, take away the script. If we're gonna see the girls work out,
I sneezed and it would kick me offline.
don't ever sneeze again. If we're gonna see the girls work out, if we're gonna see the psychology of it, I'm all for it. But you spoke earlier on about them having a slap up in a cafe. If it's scripted, if it's this, if the argument is legitimate, I want nothing to do with it. And again, that's personal
Bren,
preference.
it's all going to be scripted. Bren, we watch wrestling every week and it's all scripted. What do you
Don't
mean
you
it's
start,
all
Noel.
scripted?
No. You watch wrestling every week and it's scripted, but then when it's a reality show with the women, I don't want it to be scripted.
All reality shows are scripted, unfortunately. Sean.
Jeez, though.
Yeah, exactly.
Brent,
Like I said,
let's be honest here.
I actually
You're not going to get Natty turning around and going, TJ, will you go and feed the cat there? I have to go in and have a drink. You know what I mean? This is not the way it's going to go. There's going to be a certain level of scripting to it. You know what I mean? But it should give us an insight. Hopefully a little bit better than how Unreal is being received and stuff like that.
100%.
But I don't have a problem.
I think we can
with this
agree
at all.
on that
Forget
then, right?
And you know, some of these women's lives are actually very interesting. You'd be very surprised. Like behind the scenes, when Jade isn't a wrestler, her and her husband own a sports team, which is really cool. And she's a mother as well. Chelsea's
I'm more
building her
interested
dream
in women
house.
at the moment than I am the men. That's a fact. That's 100%. A fact. It's something to do with that. And again, this is personal preference, and I've probably banged on about it a bit too much. It's just personal preference. And like that, I understand that wrestling scripted, but look, if you're a bad actress or you're a bad actor, don't expand on it. Don't expand on it because it's not for me. And as a result, I'm out. But I do understand your point, Noel, in what you're saying. It's just not for me.
That's why Brent wasn't asked back to Fair City.
Let's revisit this when it's officially announced and we have, some official word that it is going to be in production. It is going to be a thing. We can revisit it then, because right now I think this is just blowing rumors way out of the water.
Yeah,
this is only based on Brie and Nikki's comments of they want to.
I was actually more interested in talking about the mix of the people who might be involved than I was about the name.
It looks class. We all know how Chelsea Green is. We've seen Chelsea Green on Unreal. I love watching her stuff on Unreal and on social media. What we don't know is that we've all, like with Naomi, Chelsea, and that we all have an idea because we've seen them, in Unreal. They've had their own little features in Unreal. We know what goes on a little bit behind the scenes in their lives, but the others are having a clue. Imagine how Montez Ford's going to feel seeing that the only relevance he's had is on the new series Total Divas. Because let's face it,
that's not true. Because he had the show already. He had the show already with Bianca, which wasn't too bad.
Not fair, yeah. Actually, that's a good point. I forgot about that.
And the Miz one wasn't too bad either.
Yeah, Keith's a big fan of Miz.
Miz's one was so freaking good. And you know what? I actually didn't watch it for the Miz and Maurice. I watched it for Maurice's mother. She was absolutely
That's enough of that now.
Oops.
He mentioned the mother. He's gone now. Bye, Sean. R.I.P.
I'm gonna bring him back.
And he didn't have to apologise for the Fair City comment either. I see the comment there. I apologise. Get up, Howard. You don't have to apologise for that. I deserved it.
Oh, I'm back. You can never get rid of me.
Yeah, we can. All we have to do is ask you for a short.
I heard something about my comments.
Right.
I'm
Folks,
sorry,
thanks
yeah.
for joining us. Thanks for joining us on Pro Wrestling Weekly. I believe Sean has to go and put cream on that burn. Let's call it a day here,
Sorry.
folks. Let's end it on that. That's perfect. Let's end it.
Right, let's take a bit of history.
Game
'Cause
over.
we're just on the hour, just over the hour and a half.
Oh wait, before
Right,
we take history,
Mike-
can I call out NXT tonight?
Yes.
Do you
Yeah,
mind?
go ahead, go on. No, fire away.
Folks, we've got a great card for NXT tonight. We crown our new NXT champion. The vacant title is on the line.
I like
in a-
Vacant. I think he's one of the best champions of all time.
100%, the longest reigning champion in the history of the company. Obviously,
Grand
it's
Slam
a
champion as
seven-pack
And
match.
the only one to ever be a women's champion at the same time.
That is very true. That is very
Sorry,
true.
go on, carry on.
7-pack ladder match, folks. We got Keanu Carver, Joe Hendry, Dion Lennox, Shiloh Hill, the Evolve champion Jackson Drake, Sean Legacy, and Ricky Saints for the vacant NXT title. We also have a triple threat for the women's North American title, that being Izzy Dame, Thea Hale, and Lola Vice. And then finally, we have got the TNA Knockouts tag team titles on the line. But the Elegance brand defend against Zaruka. So a good card tonight.
Nice. A little bit of history. 1986, Gino Hernandez died as a result of a drug overdose at the age of 28. You'd know Gino Hernandez if you looked at any of the Texas stuff and any of the Von Erich stuff. He was highly featured down there and well respected. 2008, Brock Lesnar made his UFC debut against Frank Mir and would tap out to a knee bar within 90 seconds. Not a great debut at all, but went on for much better things. 2010, Vince McMahon appeared on an episode of ECW on Sci-Fi to announce that in 2 weeks' time, the brand would cease to exist. It would be replaced by a new reality competition format that would be called NXT, and the rest is history. 1989, WWF main event is live from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. On the show, the Mega Powers defeated the Twin Towers. But of course, this is the storyline that led to the breakup of the Mega Powers and the fake kind of fight for Elizabeth, if you like. 2000, the ill-fated XFL Football League was announced as a joint venture between WWF and NBC. The first match was played exactly 1 year later in 2001, but the XFL lasted just one season, with each company losing in excess of $70 million. 2018, for Sean as well as Bren and the others, OTT Homecoming took place in Dublin, Ireland. The main event was a 3-on-3 steel cage match for the tag team belts, which were defended under the Freebird rule. All three members of the same faction can claim to be champions, even though there's only 2 belts. Shay Samuels and Zach Gibson defeated Bonesaw, Damien Corvin, and Duncan Disorderly to become the new OTT
Kings of the North. Hey, Kings of the North, lads.
Kings of the North.
Kings of the North.
2000, Axel Rotten was found dead in a bathroom of a in Litchnum, Maryland, at the age of 44. What a horrible way to go, isn't it? I've lost someone. I've lost Brian.
I'm okay with that. Don't bring him back. Oh, he's back. Hey, Brian, we missed you. We missed you.
Sorry.
Sorry about that. Come here, let me tell you.
This was actually really good.
Tell you. 2019, WWE Raw is in Portland, Oregon, and the show started with Becky Lynch getting suspended by Stephanie McMahon. Lynch reacted to this by attacking McMahon. The reason for the suspension was Lynch had been injured at the Royal Rumble but refused medical assessment because she didn't want to be not medically cleared for WrestleMania. Remember it well, really real. 2002, on an episode of SmackDown taped in Los Angeles, California, Maven scored over The Undertaker to win the WWF Hardcore title. So we'll take a few birthdays now. This was a weird week for birthdays as well. So we'll start off. Brian Cage, 1984. 1980, Teddy Hart. We spoke earlier, of course, about the Rockers. 1960, Marty Jannetty. 1942, Doug Jr. And 1982, one half of the Machine Guns, Chris Sabin. And we rounded out with 1959, one Lawrence Taylor. Your birthdays for this week
LT.
and your history. So there you go. There you go. So folks, until next time, if you could subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification button and drop a like on the video. We will be back with shorts, of course, throughout the week. And I will be back on Thursday with Thursday Tier Talk with Darren, Emma and Bren, and maybe Keith. I'm not too sure what the arrangement is this week. We'll have the SmackDown show on Saturday. Do not miss it at 8 o'clock. And on Sunday, I might be doing a watch along for the Man City game, but you get a preview for it anyway. We'll talk to you again real soon. Hope you enjoyed the show, and we'll talk to you again real soon. Cheers, folks.